2 cents. That's 330-370-1590. Now, here's Jason Sokol.
1590 WAKR Akron News Talk Sports. 330-370-1590 is our number if you want to jump in here with your 2 cents. This is a fun event, and there wasn't a lot of good news in the news this hour. That's just the way it goes some days. But the good news, Prom on the Pitch is coming up. We talked about this last year around when it was coming around. It's coming up on Friday, May 15th and May 16th. There's going to be a high school game and then the regular game this year. They've added to it. We've got Layla Haley and Renee Wittenberger in studio with us to talk about this one. It's great to have you both back.
Thank you for having us.
So, for anybody who's not familiar, and it's been a while since we've talked about rugby, number one, people are probably thinking, you can play that in a prom dress?
Yes, actually you can. It's a pretty awesome spectacle. It kind of mixes the hardness of rugby and then the softness of feminine, someone being feminine, and it kind of just clashes it together, and it's just great to watch.
So where do you find all of these prom dresses? I'm guessing you're not using the same ones, especially for the high schoolers that they're going to their prom in, right?
They could. We get most of ours from Goodwill or local thrift stores. There are some girls that use the same dress every year. We've got blood on it from 2007, but most of us get new ones every year. It's a show.
Well, that just makes it look tough then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So it's really cool to see this, and you're expanding. You're going to do a high school game this year, I understand.
Yes. So for many years, one of the other girls that helps us put the event together, her name is Bridget Ford, and she coaches the Highland girls rugby team. She was really, she wanted to get high school girls involved in this event, and we just couldn't find a way to make it work. And then through my job, I work in the juvenile courts a lot, and the Andrea Rose Teodosio Foundation collects gently used prom dresses for girls in need. And so we started talking about it at one of our little meetings, and I was like, hey, this foundation collects prom dresses. We do a prom on the pitch, and Bridget's been wanting to get the high school girls involved. So it kind of all just came together. So we decided to host our first ever junior prom on the pitch, and we'll do it the Friday before our regular prom. And it's going to be Brunswick High School, which is coached by two of our former men's players, versus Highland, which is Bridget Ford is coaching it. And we're going to have these two girls play it out, and they're actually in a competition to see who can collect the most gently used formal dresses for the foundation.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. So are there a lot of these, the high school teams around now?
It's growing. We're pleased with how it's growing. Boys team-wise, there's quite a few. Cleveland's got a lot of teams. Girls teams-wise, we're really hoping to continue the growth of it. There's Brunswick, Parma, Highland, St. Joseph is one of the big teams, Lakewood. So a lot of Cleveland teams, but we would like to see it grow more in Summit County and Akron, obviously.
For sure. Is it an OHSAA sport yet?
No, it's run by Ohio Rugby. I was wondering if there was like a high school version of it, but Ohio Rugby kind of oversees and helps run everything and rules and regulations for it.
And what about the Akron Rugby Club? How's the club doing?
The club's doing great. We have a women's team and a men's team. The women's team just went to playoffs for the first time ever. This past weekend, we went down to Cincinnati, and we are hosting this prom. It's the 9th annual prom, and we're all really looking forward to a good time. The men's team will be there also to help facilitate and maybe even play a little bit. We're looking to raise over $3,000 this year in the event, and that money goes towards the Battered Women's Shelter of Summit Medina County. We receive money by donations with parking. We sell T-shirts. We'll have Stone Pelican food truck there, right? And they donated a little bit of their funds last year too. So we're looking for a really big show this year.
And where is the pitch for people who don't know?
Off Wadsworth Road, 1763 Wadsworth Road in Copley. We'll have a big sign that says Akron Rugby Football Pitch here, and some prom dresses hanging from the sign so you know where it is.
Right by the Carter Lumber too. There's a big Carter Lumber building off like an old one. So, but she does a really good job of putting prom dresses up next to our sign so everyone knows.
That makes it nice and easy.
Since we talked to you last year, looks like more people are getting involved in rugby as a whole. But are you seeing more girls getting involved?
Yeah, from when I started back in 2001 when the women's team started to when Renee plays now, it's so great to see the growth. I mean, they have a solid 15 girls and subs, which is amazing because we never had that. We would travel with 10 and kind of hope to make it work. So they've done a great job with the women's team. Old girls are really proud of them. They made playoffs for the first time ever, which is a huge accomplishment. I mean, we couldn't be more proud for how they've just taken our legacy and continued on with it. One of the great things is I was watching one of their playoff games against Cleveland, and I was sitting in the bleachers with some of the men's team, and I think this is a huge compliment to Renee and the rest of the team. The men's team just continue to say, this is great rugby. And for men's team to compliment a women's team like that is great. Like, I couldn't be happier with that kind of compliment.
That is huge. And it kind of seems like it parallels the growth of rugby across the country. It seems like every weekend as I'm flipping through the sports channels on TV, somebody's got rugby on, and it just wasn't that way even a year ago when we talked.
Yeah, it really wasn't. We go every year whenever international rugby comes to town. We get a big group of everyone. Last year we were all in Chicago together. Year before we were all in Philly together. We watched USA play New Zealand. And we, Renee kind of corrals everyone to go to restaurants together and travel together and sit together. So we've kind of been growing as a team that way as well. So it's really nice.
Do you do special scarves like soccer people do when you're getting together for watch parties?
No. We all just wear our favorite jerseys,
right.
or, we all have many Akron rugby shirts and shorts and, just paraphernalia, things that we all wear. So I think that's how we do it.
See, they're the smart ones because they're not wearing scarves when it's 95 degrees outside. I enjoyed wearing my soccer scarf during the World Cup last year, but it was also getting a little warm there after a while. Talking to Layla Haley, Renee Wittenberger about Prom on the Pitch, which is coming up this weekend, and this is really cool stuff, and I think you hit the nail on the head when they're talking about good rugby. That's the biggest stamp of endorsement, right?
Right, that's why we're here. Our main goal is to play rugby first, and so to be able to click the way we did and to play and really build ourselves as a team, that's our number one goal. Our number two goal is to give back, and that's what Prom on the Pitch is all about.
And where are you drawing your players from? Are they local people? Do you get people in from out of town? How does that work?
Yeah, a lot from the university. There is a university men's team, but not a women's team, so a lot of the women come play with us. The men will play on the university team and then hopefully graduate on up to our men's team. Mostly from the Akron area. Canton has recently started their team, and they're coming along. They have maybe 7 or 8 players, so they're moving along with that. But I would say we go up to at least halfway to Cleveland, and then Cleveland has a team as well, and so they pick up the other half. Cleveland will be attending Prom this year, as they have the last couple of years, in addition to Detroit and the Pittsburgh Highlanders. So we'll have 4 teams this year, so it's kind of a big deal. And we all sort of, our player pool kind of borders each other and sometimes goes over and overlaps a little bit, but we all take it in stride.
Is rugby moving into high schools the way we've seen an explosion with lacrosse? Some of the lesser known sports we're seeing at the high school level. Is that happening here in our region?
I wouldn't say as quickly as lacrosse did. I would hope that it goes as quickly. There's so much potential. I work in a lot of different high schools for work, and every time I go into a new high school, I'm like, they need a women's rugby team here. I helped with the Brunswick team last year a little bit with their coach and kind of helped him out. And, it's so much fun, and the girls get so excited, and it's so good for all these other issues, like body image issues, and ways to get aggression out and deal with mental health. It's just so good for some of these girls to go out. Girls are like, I had this hard day and so broke up with me, and then they get out on the pitch and they leave it all out there, just like I did when I started playing on the women's team. And it's so good for them, and I would like to see that continue to grow in some of the high school realms. And a lot of the old girls who don't play anymore have kind of stepped into a coaching role, but it does take up a lot of time and effort and energy. So, but if we can keep pushing that, I'd love to see that grow.
Have you had any talks with the Akron Public Schools yet?
We have not. One of our old girls, Mary Warble, she's kind of one of the founding mothers, I guess you'd call her. She's actually traveling right now, but she, when she comes back into town, she's talked a lot about Akron Public Schools.